announced that I'm going to be crowd surfing at one city on the tour. I don't know what city it is. It's just going to speak to me in the moment.
Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we have quite the different subject. Today we are going to be talking about Dave Blunts. If you're not familiar with Dave Blunts, Dave recently has gotten popular, or maybe infamous is the better term, online, based on his music, kind of, as well as just his overall persona. So if you're not familiar with who Dave is an extremely large individual. Dave is between 500 and 700 pounds. It kind of depends on where you look for the information on the internet, but he is a very, very, very large person who also is a rapper, music maker. You could say what he does is rap. It's kind of a mixture. A lot of people kind of compare him to Juice WRLD as kind of that similar vibe. I wouldn't say it's exactly the same music, but Dave is someone that makes music, and he is also an incredibly large individual. So where Dave probably got, where a lot of his popularity actually came from was actually a clip of him performing. And this is the clip right here, this is a post by Snoop Dogg, which we will get into, but this is a clip of him performing. Obviously we can't listen to the audio, but as you can see, he's an incredibly large person. And as you can see, he is sitting down while he's performing. Again, that's just kind of different, right? Not a lot of people have seen that. And as you can see, Snoop Dogg goes on to say in this Instagram post, we'll put down the chicken wings and Tata Chip's nephew. That chair is going to break soon, and get to the end of the cup, right? So the reason that he's saying that, and I think that this is important, is that Dave's probably most popular song, at least for the most recent, recently, has been this song right here, which is called The Cup, where this is another very big part of his persona, is that he claims, and there's a lot of speculation whether this is true or not, but he claims that he is addicted to the purple in the cup. If you know what that is, you know what that is. We really can't get too far into it as to what the contents of the cup is. It rhymes with mean. But there's, this song is him kind of just talking about how he is sipping on this stuff and all that stuff. But another really big part of the Dave Blunts persona is the lyrics that he uses in his songs are very shock value. That's a huge part of his persona, right? Is a shock value. As you can see, obviously we're not going to read this, but if you see this highlighted line, I love all my people, but I promise I'm not a word that rhymes with maggot, right? And so that's a huge part of his persona, is using these lyrics that are just, it almost feels like a joke, right? But at the same time, and this is interesting to me, he is obviously, there is a level of talent there, right? Because I think that maybe it's not music I would listen to, but there are people that genuinely do enjoy his music, and it's not just absolute garbage trash that no one would ever want to listen to, right? There is a level of talent that this person has, and it's just very interesting the way that they are using their size, using the lyrics that they're writing to kind of catapult them into, I don't know if you'd call it fame, maybe a little bit of infamy, but they are using all of this stuff that's going on around them, and it seems that they are using that to get popular. But a lot of what's been going on recently has kind of been backfiring as far as Dave's health is concerned, because like we saw, he is a very, very large individual, and he is wanting to perform on stage, and that requires a certain level of, healthiness, athleticism, and that might not be the hardest thing in the world to do, but performing is definitely, to an extent, being able to stand on stage and sing for an hour or more, right, is going to require you to be in a certain level of shape, right, that Dave doesn't seem to be in. And recently he has been just in and out of the hospital almost like consistently, to where he is canceling a bunch of the tour that he had. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but that's kind of what's going on now. So going back to the initial kind of altercation that he had with Snoop Dogg. So Snoop Dogg posted that clip where, you know, he's filming himself kind of sitting on stage and singing and rapping. But Dave actually responded to that. And so that's this clip, which this, again, kind of went viral as well. So I just want to just watch this clip and see kind of how he responds to Snoop Dogg.
Hey, Chicago, do y'all have a problem with me sitting down on this stage? Yeah.
So the reason that he asked that, right, do you have a problem with me sitting down, is because that's one of the biggest things that Snoop Dogg was, you know, criticizing him for, was the fact that he was sitting on stage. And as you can see, I feel like this is where the meme and just trying to lean into being the big guy that is performing on stage, sitting down, it started to kind of take hold, and he started to really lean into it, right? Because here now he's sitting on a full-size couch, and he has an oxygen tank next to him while he is performing this stuff, right? And so, again, it's just hard to imagine that this is truly someone being 100% like genuine and trying to share their art. It seems like it is someone that maybe there's a level of genuineness, like, you know, clearly he wants to be an artist, but he also is trying to lean into the meme as well, right?
Exactly. Get the fuck off my dick, Snoop Dogg.
And then he continues to perform. He can't really play it, but, you know, he ends up bringing a young lady on stage, and she's like sitting next to him while he is performing, and, you know, he kind of just really leans into that whole thing. And apparently after he did this, Snoop, I guess, came out and said, like, you know, whatever, we're cool, no worries. He didn't really want to get into a beef with Dave Bluntz. And the thing that's interesting is that Dave Bluntz, he's only 24 years old, right? And so this is a younger person, and I feel like a lot of his fans are probably younger people as well. And so I feel like that kind of plays into the whole meme, and, you know, it's just like with younger people, you know, I'm 32 at this point now. I feel like younger people are more like down to lean into something not being genuine and really kind of getting the joke. Like that's kind of how the way that I see Dave Bluntz. I feel like there's a level of genuineness, but he also has seen that he can kind of lean into being the meme. And here is a clip of Dave talking about wanting to crowd surf at one of his shows. Again, this is why I just like, some of this really does definitely feel like kind of like leaning into the joke, right?
Crowd surfing at one city on the tour. I don't know what city it is. It's just going to speak to me in the moment.
I got to be honest.
I don't know. Why is he laughing? I'm not too sure what I said that's funny.
Well,
No, I was just.
what's funny?
No,
man?
no.
I do.
So again, this is, if you don't know, this is Bad Friends. This is a podcast. It's like two comedians that run this podcast. So it's a comedy podcast, right? So again, kind of like, it feels like leaning into the joke. You know, he's sitting there asking like, why is he laughing? I don't understand. I mean, I think it's clear why someone would laugh hearing that, right?
I'm curious to how the mechanics are going to work
Of what?
on you surfing in a crowd.
Yeah, man. I mean, shit. My fans are going to hold me up as I dive into the crowd.
And you're going to jump from the stage.
So who are your friends? Triple H, The Rock.
Bodybuilders. Dave, let me
Listen, my fans.
Imagine
listen.
like a 12-year-old skinny kid.
What the fuck? Listen, it's kind of like when, you know, a mom can move a car. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's that.
Yeah.
Listen, my fans, I don't have bitch ass fans, bro.
Okay.
Not
My
bitch-ass
fans
fan.
are like really strong minded. And so I feel like that'll just transfer over.
So again, really leaning into the whole joke of, you know, just being a large person. I'm going to crowd surf. I'm not sure if that's something that's ever really going to happen, but we will see. But that doesn't mean that everything he does is fake, and that's what we'll get into now, which is like the hospital visits and the fact that he is missing all, like, there's just so much other stuff that's going on that I don't think you can just brush away by being, oh, this guy's not being serious at all, right? There is genuine health concerns that are happening as he's trying to build this, you know, career for himself. All of that stuff really kind of helped him blow up, and he actually kind of went viral. If we look at this, obviously we can't listen to the audio from this video, but this is from his probably most popular song, The Cup, right? And this video has 5.1 million views, right? So he went relatively viral making this music, right? And there's a good amount of people that genuinely do like his stuff, right? And I think that they maybe understand that it's slightly tongue-in-cheek, and they see that, right? But the issue is that with all of this virality, it hasn't really helped him. You know, obviously he's still kind of in and out of the hospital, and it's really interesting, right? If we look at this clip right here, so this is posted from his Instagram, right? And this is him celebrating the fact that that video that we just looked at had 1 million views. Now, this was obviously towards the end of 2024, so he's gotten quite a good amount of views since then. He's at 5 million now. But he's in the hospital saying, you know, this week has been crazy. I had to go back to the hospital. Then Ken tried starting stuff with me and had to find all this stuff, right? We're not going to read all of this stuff, but this is a gift that his manager or like really close friend kind of got for him, which is a whole cake, right? And this is the guy I think that got him this cake, right? And this is a video.
Methazine, with lean I fell in love.
So those are the lyrics to the song, and it seems like it's his friend that is singing that to him, and they bought him this whole cake that he is, you know, obviously eating on Instagram. And if you look at the comments here, right, people are saying, boss, the world wants to hear new music from you for years to come. I'll leave it at that, right? And then why the frick would they bring you a cake, G? Ozempic, bro, please. Whoever brought this man a cake should be charged with accessory to murder, right? So there's like people out here that are like genuine fans that don't want to see him in the hospital, and he's still kind of leaning into this whole, you know, being a bigger person, and also clearly suffering from being a bigger person. And recently things have just kind of been spiraling, because that was towards the end of 2024. Now we are obviously in the middle of 2025, which is crazy. But if we look at the top post on his Instagram right here, this is him announcing this tour that he is going to do, right? And so he has dates from April 12th to May 23rd. So we are in the middle of this tour technically, right? But the issue is that if you look at his Instagram, I'm sure you can see he is in the hospital. He has been in the hospital for quite a good amount of time now. So if we look, it seems that February 12th was when he talks about this, and he goes on to say, right, as I lay here in the hospital bed for the 1,000th time, I start to realize that this time is more devastating than any other previous hospital visits, not because of my deteriorating health, no, but because I made a promise that my album would still come out on Friday, but due to my health, I haven't been able to finish my album. And now we only have 2 more days until Friday. I want to live up to my own promise, but at this point, I don't know if I can. Right. So now he's kind of saying, well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to release this album. And, you know, he's, you know, kind of posting these pictures. Again, it seems kind of like he's joking. Right. But then we go on. This is the next day, right? And this is him, it seems like, announcing that, you know, he's still in the hospital, he's still struggling, and it's just kind of like nothing is really getting better. He's just announcing, oh, I'm going to miss this show. I can't show up to this show. And then again, you know, this is from only 4 days ago. He is saying that he's not going to be able to make this show in Boston. So let's go ahead and actually listen to this post.
To come and perform for y'all tonight. Unfortunately, I am back in the hospital, and I've really been trying on my health journey. You know, this shit's been hard. I've been traveling a lot and meeting a bunch of different people and getting sick. This shit is unfortunate, and I'm really sorry. I've really been trying on my health journey, and this shit's just been so hard, and I don't want to disappoint any of my fans, but I'm going to have to be in here. I'm not too sure how long I'm going to have to stay. I'm determined to not cancel the tour. So if you guys can just bear with me, I love y'all. And I'm sorry, I don't want to disappoint anybody, but yeah, this is just an unfortunate situation. I love all my fans though, and I hope you guys can just continue to keep me in your prayers. And, you know, I know it's hard being a Dave Blunt's fan. You have to constantly defend me to other people, and I'm sorry for that. So once again, man, I love y'all, and I just hope that y'all keep me in y'all prayers.
So there you go. It's, you know, he is still currently trying to continue out this tour, but he is just constantly having health issue after health issue after health issue, which is making him cancel all of these different dates that he set up for himself. So all of this kind of culminates in, most recently, today actually, Dave released an album, finally released the album that was supposed to come out in February. And, you know, people, I guess, are listening to it, and this is the most recent Instagram post that he posted, and this is him still in the hospital, right, saying, "Me versus the industry, how y'all like the new album? I had a lot of stuff to say. Imagine starting stuff with me and I'm just chilling in the hospital like this while my girlfriend nurses me back to health. Keep bumping that new stuff. I'm ready to drop again, this time with Ye, ? Right? And so, I mean, that's a whole nother thing, releasing a song with Kanye West in 2025, the year of our Lord. But that's kind of where we're at. And I think it's just very interesting. The first time that I heard about him, and especially when I heard the lyrics to the song, I was like, okay, that's a little very interesting. And then I saw what he looked like on stage, and it just feels like this is just a giant persona to an extent. But it seems like he is really kind of, you know, he wants to ride this until the wheels fall off, but it, you know, we're at the point where the wheels are falling off, right? And like, what are we going to do now? And it's just sad because, again, while maybe the music isn't for me and it's not my favorite kind of music, there is a level of talent there, and it's sad to see someone kind of lean into this persona that I do genuinely feel is harming him, right? And like, you know, he's been hospitalized for very serious things. At one point, he was hospitalized for heart failure. Like, these are serious things that are going on. It's not just something little, right? And he's missed basically this entire tour that he set up. And I can only imagine what it's like being actually someone that is a fan of Dave Blunt's and his music, and just being like, well, I don't know. Why would you even buy a ticket to a show? Because you just feel like, is it even going to happen? Most likely not, right? And so that's kind of the story of Dave Blunt's. I don't know. Maybe we will keep an eye on him and see where things go. I don't know. It's very interesting. You know, we're kind of seeing this, and then, you know, a few months ago we were talking about Dank Damas, and it's just very interesting that this is kind of, you know, popping up again, and just the whole situation. It's very, very interesting. You know, kind of someone making meme music to an extent while also still having some sort of talent, and then being, you know, an incredibly large individual, and the whole spectacle of that. It's just been very interesting to see. So I just thought it was interesting, so I wanted to talk about it. But I would love to know what y'all think down in the comments section down below. Thank you so much for watching to the end. I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Peace.